Welcome to the Zenjaverse, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So psyched you're here today. We are, where am I? I mean, I'm just like in this really interesting place. I just tried playing poo sticks and it didn't go so hot. I'm not gonna lie. They went the other direction under the bridge, and maybe I'll show you that footage later. A lot of fun. I learned something. Regardless, we are going to cover a lot of fun stuff in here today. We have a couple tracks coming up. Okay, so we have the mighty Amicus put together some tracks a little while back. Hot Potato was one of the first songs that we ever did together, and I just figured I'd throw that on here for you guys. And it's just, you know, me getting loud and screaming over the top of his brilliance and his audio alchemy. And the other one is Flyboy, again, music by Amicus, and something I put some words to a little more recently. So we are going to jump into that today. We're going to be talking about the nature of the body, which is pretty exciting. Yeah, like what am I kind of stuff, you know? We talk a lot about the three-dimensional body and mind and spirit and all these kinds of things. And let's talk a little bit about that. There's a lot of fun info out there, and we can kind of take that little bit of a journey together. I'm walking backwards right now across this bridge because I think it looks cool in the background there. I hope that I don't step on anything behind me that doesn't want to be stepped on. And wait, why don't I just do this? Is that cool? Hey! All right, so what's true, everybody? We're gonna do this, get into that music. We're gonna do some Q&A, and we're just gonna have a little fun. So much has gone on recently, but let's just start it off with some music. Yeah, y'all know what time it is. Get ready for Hot Potato and Flyboy. Oh man, love you guys. Hope you love me too, even just a little bit. It feels good to love. Listen up, it's about to get rowdy. Amicus, what you got, buddy?
Talk with the team, with the gratitude, they gotta be salty with the drop. With the downtown, whatever they count, talk to them, and I'm so let me drop. Talk with the team, with the gratitude, they gotta be salty with the drop. With the downtown, whatever they count, talk to them, and I'm so let me drop.
The guy I trades in pirates for a captain's iris by this. Nah, sucker, don't try this. Don't step, don't try this. I must confess, I'm in the holy septus, don't be bliss. The guy I trades in pirates for a captain's iris by this. Nah, sucker, don't try this. Don't step, don't try this. I must confess, I'm in the holy septus, don't be bliss. Tell the masses I got my masters in soul Damascus. Make up your mind, is it Jesus or in them flags we trust? Is it Jesus or in them flags we trust?
Talk with the team, with the gratitude, they gotta be salty with the drop. With the downtown, whatever they count, talk to them, and I'm talk with the team, with the gratitude, they gotta be salty with the drop.
Is it Jesus or in them flags we trust? I must confess, I'm in the holy septus, call me bliss. Make some change before banks and brains go break the chain. Your wisdom must be Jesus or in them flags we trust.
They gotta be salty with a drop. With the downtown, whatever they count, talk to them, and I'm so let me drop.
Get ready to blast off with Amicus and Zenja now. We THI boys. Amicus be opening up your third eye, boys. Never try too hard or get too high. Say, oh Lord. When you tear to the eye, y'all try joy, now fly. Cranium, titanium, tuning soul sentence stations in, sharing them with caring friends. Source within is without end. We hotter than punks of steam. More odd than what we seem. Kick that tiger out the tree. Fly now, girl, let go, be free. Bittersweet and a bulletproof and innocent kids with the truth and bulletproof and bittersweet. Tan, black and blue and innocent teeth now. We smashing bullies just for fun. Like Satomas punching one. Take my push-ups with the planet. S-class losers just can't stand it. We fly, boys. And we just be opening up your third eye, boys. Never try too hard or get too high. Say, oh Lord. Bring a tear to the eye, now all aboard, now fly. Got Confucius in confusion while we alchemize solutions. 44,000 foot perspective, integrate whole soul collective. Leap of faith we shall require. Circumstances, yes, that dire. For the freedom, for the fight. Expanding roots and taking flight. They build it, we bomb it. They try it, we stop it. They bury, we build it. It's real cause we willed it. They build it, we bomb it. They try it, we stop it. They bury, we build it. It's real cause we willed it.
Hope you like that. You know, it gets rowdy, but we're lovers. We don't want to fight anybody. You know, we ain't trying to hurt anybody. But we definitely like to get that energy out and get people dancing. Yeah, you know, don't mistake it. Sometimes people like will hear art and they'll kind of not read between the lines and kind of miss it. Like on that last, on my last episode, for instance, I threw up that song "Raw Becomes Dust." And, you know, it's about tearing that stuff down. But people hear references to, like, Set and Raw, and they think, oh, this dude, like, loves those guys. No. Sometimes you write art from both, like, from many perspectives. For instance, if you're going to make a movie, you got to write lines for the good guys and the bad guys, you know? So, like, when we do music, sometimes you'll see the darker characters in the narrative, but it's not, we're not promoting negativity or unkindness. You know, that's insanity. You know, we want to bring people together, but we're also not afraid to talk about the dark stuff, you know. And a lot of times you'll see that in art, it's just a lot of unresolved emotions. I'll just say it straight up, a lot of artists may not admit this, some do, but a lot of art is shadow work. It just is. Like, a lot of art is shadow work. A lot of art is unresolved emotions getting out. And it's kind of, sometimes it's funny, but like you'll hear bands, their first albums, or maybe even their second album is incredible. It's like your favorite because it's when they were raw and real and getting it out, that pain, you know. And when people, we don't want to promote pain or encourage it, but when you see other people who've had those struggles or have that pain and they sing their way through it, they sing, dance their way through that pain. It's a type of shadow work I think is very valuable. So I just want people to know when they listen to our stuff, you know, we love everybody, and it's just that simple, you know. But you're gonna hear some ruckus because it's been a ruckusy kind of life, and that's just what's up with that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tracks. We sure enjoy making them. How about this? We should do a little Q&A. I think we need to do Q&A. People have been asking a lot of questions. It's been a big week. Let's do that. Q&A with Zenja. Q&A with Zenja. Is he always going to do a different Q&A ending with Zenja? Probably. Okay, so question 1. How did things go with the THI Oregon Zoom? Whoa! It was just unbelievable. I felt so inspired. I felt so inspired. Look at this tree. It's just magnificent. Look at that beautiful, beautiful piece of Midgardian hair there growing on the surface of our lovely planet. How did THI Oregon go? It was amazing. We have so many wonderful people here in Oregon who are bringing just big energy, just great, huge skill sets in terms of not just their leadership abilities and their motivation and their focus and their hearts and their service to others is just apparent. I think there's just no doubt we have an amazing group of people here in Oregon who are going to do amazing things. And you know, everyone already had ideas in their minds. It's obviously why they were drawn to THI in the first place, is this forward thinking, this holistic, integrated, we're all one, let's do our work and then do the best work we can to help the world around us. They already had so many ideas, so many plans for you know, clean water, for affordable housing, for, you know, available affordable technology for people to improve their lives. All kind of community outreach types of things. The skill sets include everything from political science to art to healing to a lot of business management, community outreach. I mean, it's just nuts. I already feel very, very confident that this group of people that we put together, that has come together, I should say, already, is just so fully equipped. If we just even knew each other in normal life, we could get some stuff done. So the fact that we have, you know, a real vision and I think already a camaraderie, we all got along instantly, and just felt like we were all just energized equals, wanting to hold hands and make some amazing things happen. And we all have big plans, and I think we're going to be able to tackle those one at a time and take it in bite-sized pieces and walk in step and make some amazing things happen. So I just want to say thank you to everybody at THI Oregon. By the way, David Love, my man, David G. Love is in the house. He's motivated. He's got a lot of ideas and practical ideas on how to make these things happen in the real world. And I just couldn't be more stoked to have a guy like him as admin on all of our stuff, and you know, making sure that we're all together. And I just think again, great team. I feel super excited, super motivated, and I think everybody else does. So excited about our next call. So by the time this show airs, we'll have had two. So anyway, more to come on that. I just want to say it went great, and I want to encourage all the other THI crews around the world to stay positive, stay focused. For me, I've had to do a lot of just real listening, you know, because I come in really excited with all these big ideas, and but they don't matter if I don't hear the ideas of others, you know, and really allow that to help me think differently, not just about helping others and getting involved in their projects, but even in ways to maybe improve mine, maybe incorporate their dreams into mine and make it something better. You know what I mean? One ingredient doesn't do it. You need multiple ingredients to make a good meal. You need multiple ingredients for good alchemy. You know, this is it. So I'm super pumped. That's about 4 minutes of me saying you're awesome, THI Oregon. But love you guys. We'll talk again soon. Okay, a lot of questions about the timeline. Yo, that's a big deal. You know, if you want me to write a book on it, then great. Someone kick me a stipend and I'll get that done. But it's just long. I highly recommend, again, researching that stuff on your own. You don't got to kick anybody any money. That research has been done by loving people for free, and it's been put out there. You know the links. So check that out. But the Q&A that has been getting a lot of, the question that's been getting a lot of airtime over the years, and I've been hit up about it specifically a few times recently, is just the nature of the body, you know. We hear a lot about three-dimensional bodies, fifth-dimensional, this and that, you know, what are there other dimensions at all? Are there other frequencies of reality wherein consciousness or sentience exists? In other words, could there be such thing as a sentience existing, or extant, should I say, within a second dimensional construct? Or likewise, are there fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, and on sentiences that exist within those frameworks? And could we know that? In other words, could a three-dimensional being see communicate with, understand, have any perception of a fourth dimensional reality? The answer is basically yes, and it's interesting. So, and it also speaks to our true nature. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna draw some pictures up for this one, and I think it's gonna help to try to visualize this stuff. Because when you think of yourself as a human body, it's real easy just to think that you are your body. That like this thing you see in the mirror is your body. Well, I want to tell you, for starters, that for every 30 cells that make up your body, okay, you have 36 microorganisms crawling in, on, and around your body. So when you look in the mirror, okay, for every 30 physical body cells you're looking at 36 bugs as well on the outside and on the inside. Basically, your planet, your body is just a planet for bugs, right? Over 200,000 different species of microorganisms are crawling in and around your body. In fact, your body would die without them. You know that's word. That's church. You need those bugs. So basically, is your body just a planet for bugs? Is that you? You're a bug planet? It gets complicated, doesn't it? Are you your thoughts? Mind, body, soul, spirit, what do these things mean? Okay, so I'm going to draw up some pictures and we're going to go into this a little bit, and I really hope we have an opportunity to get just a little bit further down the road in clarity on who and what our physical bodies really are, how they relate to the planet we're on, right? How intimately, inextricably related we are to the planet from which we are born, okay? As well as extra dimensional energies that empower all of it, okay? This three-dimensional structure is that we call our world. It's very real. It's not an illusion. It's here, right? But it is also enfolded within larger realities wherein the physics, one might say, is very different. So you think, well, this is impossible. No, it's not. It's only impossible, so to speak, maybe in a three-dimensional reality. Or maybe it's not impossible at all. You just haven't figured out how it works. So this is all just to say that it's much bigger than we think. And I want to say that it matters. Okay? So if you go around thinking that just you're your body your whole life, and that this mortal shell that just becomes dust, that's it, you're missing so much. You're missing so much. Plus it breeds a great amount of fear. It can in a lot of folks. So we're gonna alleviate some of that. Let me jump into some of these pictures, and we'll talk about the nature of the body and our extra dimensional aspects, and how we're linked with all other things, even if our eyes discriminate and don't see that. Even if our eyes, which only see 1/10,000th of 1% of the 5% of the matter in the universe that's even visible to our, high-tech instrumentation. I mean, you can't see nothing. Your eyes don't see anything. Your eyes don't see shit. Okay? Okay? So like you got 4 or 5%. I'll get to the pictures, but think about this. People, seeing is believing. Well, I see it. I don't see fifth dimensional energy. It can't be real. Yo. I'll say this again. Scientists, your average university scientist with some funding and some, microscopes and telescopes and whatnot, is going to tell you that they can only see, with their best instrumentation, about 5% of the universe. And 95% of it is what they call dark matter and this kind of, they can't even observe. So, and then of that 5% that can be observed, right, our eyes only see in the visible light spectrum, okay, which is 1/10,000th of 1% of what's actually there. Our eyes can see. You don't see shit, bruh. So if you're gonna let all of your knowledge come through your freaking eyeballs, broski, you don't know nothing. It doesn't work like that. I love you. That's not a diss. It's a let's wake up together, right? Let's see and sense and feel in a bigger way. that matters. Okay, we can pretend things are a certain way for a long time and get nowhere. Or we can level up, and we all have to. I'm constantly learning every day, every day, every day. My mind is blown by people who know things I do not. And I love that opportunity. Okay, so please just, when I go into all this stuff, if you're not familiar with it, if this is like kind of out there stuff to you, please just absorb what's useful and just try it mentally. Like, try to imagine this perspective for a moment and see if it doesn't kind of throw some light bulbs up. Okay, maybe you'll feel a little bit lighter, a little bit happier, and more energized by the end of it. Okay, so here we go. I wasn't trying to ramble, just there's a lot to say about the nature of being, and I want you to understand as much as possible your energetic state. And even though words can't explain it, maybe these words can get you to a place where you'll feel it. Say that again. The truth is not in the words, no matter who says them or what book you read them out of. The truth is in the experience of it. Like someone can step to you and say, yo, you have a fifth dimensional reality aspect, blah, 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 blah. You know, say some stuff and you go, oh, I believe it. It doesn't change your life. Okay, you got to experience it. You can't just hear about the ocean. You got to go to it. Cats can't be like, oh, the ocean's big and blue and wet. And you're like, oh, I understand. No, you go to the ocean and you get in there and it's salty and it's briny and it overwhelms you in the sense of humility and awe. You feel it. You feel it, it's real. So, it's not about the head knowledge, right? It's about the experience. Now, here, now, you, all of you, on to the pigs. All right, here we go. So, most people think of their body as just a three-dimensional structure that sits here upon this planet. They think of, you know, just their body, and they think of themselves as separate from all other 3D bodies. For instance, the planet itself that they're standing on. See, that's the little me, the little 3D me. Hanging out on 3D Midgard, and most people kind of just imagine it as that simple. There's just this physical body separate from these physical cells upon which that they're standing, or, you know, molecules, elements, and things like this, that were essentially all apart, and that all sentience is contained within that 3D body. In other words, all your thoughts, your memories, your feelings, all that's just contained in your brain, essentially, in your nervous system. But there are a lot of folks who spend a lot of time researching this who have a very different perspective. You'll notice here, I drew this little infinity sign above the 3D body. Now that represents the fourth dimensional aspect, which is time. An understanding of that takes place. You understand at a certain point when you meditate, when you achieve a certain level of clarity, a certain level of alignment, attunement with, and a harmonizing with your nature and the energies that surround you and support you, you can become fourth dimensionally aware, wherein you become fully conscious of infinity, the infinite nature of the universe, as well as timelessness, and how it acts as a direction of observation. You think of an X, Y, and Z axis. Time is your fourth axis, okay? And when you align properly, you become fully aware of this, and it is part of you as well as part of the energy structure that supports you. Now, there are fifth dimensional energies and bodies as well. Now, in the same way a two-dimensional being couldn't perceive a three-dimensional being, it's difficult for a three-dimensional being to perceive a fifth-dimensional energy or object or entity, correct? So what gives? How can one see these things if they're there? Okay, this dimension that supports and surrounds the three-dimensional body in so that it can exist. In the same way a three-dimensional person can draw a two-dimensional character in a similar fashion, the three-dimensional world is being essentially drawn, created, manifest by extra-dimensional energies, of which you are one. You don't just have a 3D body, you have multi-dimensional aspects. In other words, you are not simply being drawn by some outside force, okay? You're not just some little ant being pushed around by destiny or gods or demons or something like that. That's not the case. Your self, your true self, the whole you, the all of you, is all of your dimensional aspects in one, okay? So your sixth dimensional aspect, for instance, is firmly aware of your fifth dimensional aspect. Your fifth dimensional aspect is firmly aware of the fourth dimensional nature of observational direction, time, and infinity, and these types of things. And all of this self, this you, is what focuses into being, draws into the three-dimensional matrix, this holographic universe we live in. Your three-dimensional body is essentially being crafted into existence by source energy, okay, that pours into your extra-dimensional vessel. And you, within yourself, manifest a 3D body. Therefore, your soul is not in your body. Your body is effectively in your soul. It works like that. Okay? So, to kind of clarify some of that, let's just spend a minute talking about what that kind of really means. Okay, so what does all this mean then? If we can establish that three-dimensional reality is enfolded within larger dimensional realities, wherein other rules apply, we say we can establish that through meditation and science and all sorts of other ways. What does it mean? What does that gain us? Like, how does that advantage us in any way? And also, how far does it go? Now, remember, we're not talking about alternate universes. We're talking, or parallel dimensions. We're talking about frequency, levels of vibration, okay? And these higher dimensions are essentially higher frequencies. Our three-dimensional bodies are very low frequency. And when you elevate, the frequencies are much, much higher. And they're very different. Now, the experts will tell you that at the 12th dimensional reality, you essentially hit source. And so that, one way to put it would be you just kind of smash into the infinite God, so to speak. And there's no separation in that. It's that the source and center of all things is also surrounding all things. And that no matter how, if you're some kind of alien that's been around, you know, in a society for billions of years, you're still going to be awed and mystified by source, by the creator, so to speak, by that 12th dimensional entity that loves us and supports all of us and gives us our creative power. So that's pretty awesome. But let's just bring it down a notch, because that's pretty heavy stuff. It's pretty big. Let's just start with centering our third dimensional body. And that's what's really important, is getting to a place where we can center this third dimensional body of ours. So how do we go about centering this three-dimensional body of ours and getting ourselves back, right? Instead of being scattered all over the place with our thoughts and our feelings and having our minds and our bodies in constant turmoil and frustration and dis-ease. How do we get to a place where we are at one with ourselves, where we're whole, where we have all of ourselves back? And as a fun little bonus, we start accessing information from higher dimensional frequencies, okay? We can elevate our frequency. Is really what this comes down to. We can align ourselves, harmonize ourselves in stillness by simply watching your breath in stillness and settling into the feeling, not the thoughts. You will feel these energies and frequencies, not see them. And that is massive. So you see, when we feel these energies, they become very real to us, okay? Describing them, talking about them, you know, looking at them in books isn't going to get you there, okay? It's not head knowledge, I mean holistic knowledge, and your feelings are the place you find those. So if you are disturbed mentally, if your mind is busy and scattered, then you will never truly find this space where your body can harmonize with these energies and you can begin to access your extra-dimensional self. Okay, so in other words, your three-dimensional body can, through training and time and patience and humility, align with these extra-dimensional energies, and you can have your larger dimensional selves at your disposal. You will be in harmony for the first time once you really grip this. I mean, ultimately, you could talk a lot about this, but the people who know about this don't not read about it or think about it or believe it, but know about this stuff. It comes through time. It comes through patience and training and a willingness to be still and understand that that's important. You're not always supposed to be doing and wrecking shop. You're supposed to be being. Your mind is like your brain, your thoughts are often like a hammer, like this tool, and you can't just go on hammering everything all the time. Sometimes you got to put the mind down, put the hammer down, and get yourself to a place where you're whole and still and energized and really gather the greatest version of yourself to bring to the table. This is so important for your happiness, for the people around you's happiness, right? For the planet's happiness and all life on it. So, you know, we could go on about that for so long. I mean, really, there's so much there. I'll say this, people will ask, the next question for a lot of folks is, well, what happens when we die? Now, that's a whole nother thing, but what happens when we die, I can tell you this, that if you look at the diagram, only your three-dimensional body is subject to time. So when your three-dimensional body dies, your fifth-dimensional body does not, and remembers everything. I should probably just leave it at that. So, I don't want to go into like a big thing about, you know, other lives and all that right now, but just know that there is much more, and you can become firmly aware of this stuff, and not just believe it or read about it, but know it through time and training and experience. And there's a lot of people out there who can help you along that road to getting yourself back, which is really what this is about. It's not about remembering past lives or getting superpowers or whatever. A lot of people want to, you know, it's like that. They want to learn, they want to know their past lives, so they sit there and they try to meditate and remember, and it's not it. You're not still. You need to let what's supposed to happen happen. Okay, and I want to end kind of on this, on about a little bit about meditation. If you're chasing something, you're still doing something. You're like, I want peace, and you close your eyes and chase it. You know, you're chasing peace. Okay, it's not peaceful. Okay, so know that when you're still and you're comfortable, that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, don't think, oh, I need to be doing something else. I need to go out and make more money right now. No, you need to be sitting your ass down and aligning your spine, which is an antenna that can both receive and transmit all kinds of creative energy, not just three-dimensional energy. So just let it happen. It knows what to do. Believe me, your three-dimensional body's like, what do I do? What do I do? Well, just shut up for a second and your fifth-dimensional self will handle it, okay? It's like there's nothing to be afraid of. You don't need special mantras. There's no cult to join. You don't even need any books. You know, I mean, none of that. You can simply listen to your body enough to where you get it, you know? And there's a lot of traditions that talk about this. You know, you look at, this might help. This really helped me. So I read these things about, like, you know, Jesus going out in the desert for days until he just was like, I get it. You read the same thing 500 years before that about Buddha. You know, you read about, you know, Lao Tzu and Krishnamurti, all these folks that have understood this. And I started thinking, wait a minute, maybe it's not mystical or spooky at all. Maybe it's just a physical mechanic. Maybe if you just sit there long enough, you'll see the thing. That's what they did. What if there's no juju, no religion? It's just a physical mechanic of the body. If you let your three-dimensional body become still long enough, let your mind settle. Don't judge yourself for having thoughts. Just don't judge any of it. Just feel it. Observe it. If you do that long enough, something just happens. It does. I can tell you it does. It takes a minute. I'll just straight up say it. It took me about 2 years of meditation practice before I was locked in. But it was worth every minute of it. And that 2 years wasn't wasted. You know, think about it this way. Let's say you sit there for like 5 minutes and nothing happens, so to speak. Well, hey, at least you had 5 minutes of peace in your day. What are you afraid of, a little peace? I hear people all the time say, oh, I wish I trained martial arts. I always wanted to do that. Or I always read about meditation. What are you doing? Stop wanting. No. Nope. Do it. Go train. Sit still. I mean, really. Like, just do it. Just stop not. You know, it changes everything, and it has value even if you don't, like, have some kind of great epiphany right out of the beginning. You know, just watch what happens. Just watch what happens. No, you know, if you center properly and you push forth your intention of stillness and light and love and harmony, and you're doing this for the right reasons, you go with the right intention, it'll work. It's about the right intention when you go in. Okay, so I'll end on this. You can stick someone in solitary confinement, right? Like a prisoner, like a bad guy, right? You throw that dude in solitary confinement. It's like the worst punishment. It's torture, right? It's torture. It's considered torture by a lot of people, a lot of countries and whatnot. On the other hand, because he had no intention to be there, dude. His intention was not to be there. He's imprisoned, okay? Now, by the same token, persons like myself and a lot of other people have gone into personal isolation on purpose with the expressed intention to either find enlightenment or die trying, right? Just go all in. And so if the intention is to become still or isolate for a moment to achieve understanding and get yourself back so you can serve others better, not just yourself, but serve others, your family, your community better, if that's your intention, then it's not torture, okay? It's worth it. So definitely get yourself together, center, ground, shield. Don't let any outside forces, you know, bad guys or you know, people with ill intent get in your way. You know, be you. Follow the feeling. Know that you're well loved. You're well supported. You always have been. If you just want to be the most you, you're going to have to become still for a minute and stop thinking and start being. And realize that balance is valuable. So it's just about knowing yourself and being able to see your connections, feel your connections to the world around you and all of the life around you, because all of these extra-dimensional aspects of ourselves are all linked together as well. We really are all one. It's just scientifically fact. So let us take our place in that and become the healthiest cell in the human body we can, and the healthiest cell on this planet we can, and cure the cancer that's on this planet. And it starts by healing our own personal selves. So thank you for paying attention to that. I hope it was helpful, and there's a lot more to talk about. But just know that it's fun to discover. It's a great little journey. It's a big journey, but it's worth it. And every moment in the now is precious. Don't keep thinking that the next moment's going to be the one. This moment is the one. You're 0 years old, okay? Just go there. All right, on to the next. Man, it's windy out. You know, I always knew eventually that I would do a piece on why I joined THI, like what that's about. Like, I felt like this was kind of the episode to do that, where I go in and just kind of explain what it is that brought me to THI, talk a little bit about the people there that inspire me and help me grow, and really just kind of tell the world what it is that drew me to that place and what they're kind of offering, and just kind of build that little bridge there for folks who don't really know. But moreover, for the people in THI, I always wanted to be able to just say thanks. And it's all I could just name so many people right now who were there for me when I first got there, who helped me so much, and why it changed my life, and why I'm so committed to it now, and what they're doing, and why they're just a bunch of good people. And I just want to say thank you and share that. So coming up is why I THI. Now I gotta tell you, behind me here, you're wondering what that is. That's a 255 Massey Ferguson tractor. Got MF there. Maybe that MF stands for Marduk failed. His old system's like that tractor, right? Like it had this weird singular purpose, but you know, evolution, man. Love wins. So coming up is a big thank you to the people who have helped me grow so much and helped me learn and make me feel like a white belt all over again. And learn this new kung fu that is the life that is before us. So yeah, here it comes. My thank you and explanation. Why I THI. Okay, why I THI. Oh man, this is such a journey. You know, everyone's life is such a big journey, and so many things happen, and there's so much information and so many failures and some successes, and we're constantly learning, and we always want to keep growing. We really have that need. We don't want to plateau. We want to keep nurturing our garden, and you know, personally in that way. And you know how our journeys just lead us all over the place, and I think most folks have a truth seeker in them, and they want to know the truth, and they're trying to, you know, they want to know what's really going on inside and outside in the world and universe and in their mind and their families. And they want it, you know, people want clarity, and they really do want to grow. So in my life was really kind of unique. And there was a lot of people like me, but it's not like most of the 8 billion folks on this planet, in that I was raised in secret societies for a long time as a kid, and I saw a lot of really intense things. And the information in the mainstream couldn't satisfy certain curiosities, in terms of I needed to understand things. I needed to solve certain puzzles and riddles, and I really needed to get some things. I saw stuff that was way outside the bounds of normal science and university education. Way outside the bounds, really X-Files-y stuff, okay? So, you know, I tried religion, and I learned a lot of things there. There's a lot of good people, religious people doing a lot of good things. But no matter how deep I went, whether I read, you know, I read the Bible front and back in 3 different translations, for instance. I read the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, different versions of the Quran. You know what I mean? The Torah, the Talmud, the Kabbalion, you know, I mean, all of it. I had access to all these weird secret society books too. You know, all kind of, like, you think Freemasonry and Rosicrucians, and knew all about the Theosophists, and, you know, I understood the Kabbalah, and, you know, I'd read the Urantia book twice, and I could just go on and on and on and on and on and on. History books, math books, science books, books on time travel, everything I could get my hands on. And to be honest with you, there was nothing really available at a certain point. I felt like I just hit this brick wall in terms of information, and I had a lot of puzzles unyet solved, and a lot of shadow work, inner work to do, and I had to get over some things. I still had anger, resentment, vengeance, inside of me. I wanted to just hit back on so many levels, so many people. Just, ugh. Oh, you know what I mean. So, anyway, the thing is, the short version is that I couldn't find the information I needed anywhere because it was so full of just lies and corruption and self-serving people and distortions and of an overt nature as well as an obtuse nature, as well as an accidental nature. You know, there's just lies everywhere. And as I did research on my own for a very long time, and I felt very alone, very isolated. I couldn't talk about my secret society stuff with anybody, right? Not my family, not other people, because I didn't want to be around secret society people. I was just alone, man. I was just alone, surrounded by family, but inside it's just totally alone. That's just what that is. Now, it wasn't like I didn't understand that there was a larger picture. It just was I didn't have a family, a group of people who I knew that felt like me, who maybe had seen what I had seen. Maybe they were from strange backgrounds. Maybe they're just normal walks of life. But I had never seen a group of people that were really collected in one place, who had a real understanding of what was going on, other than all these terrible, corrupt, bad guys I'd seen from the inside, all these just Illuminati shitheads. I'm just going to say it that way. I wanted nothing to do with any of that. I wanted to solve world, all these problems I saw on such a high level that nobody was tackling. It seemed like on the mainstream media, everyone was just wasting their time, oh gosh, just distraction, just Copperfield and Mockingbird nonsense. And then in the alt media, it was just garbage too. I mean, it's just nothing but flat earth and blue chickens and Bigfoot. And I'm like, you people are killing me. It was like I knew more. And I'm not, there's a lot of us that knew way more than was available in any kind of media. Millions of us, we knew that this was just a dog and pony show. And on the inside, we had clean energy. We had incredible medicine. We could clean up the oceans. We can have better economics, better financial systems, better social systems. It was all just right in front of us. There was all these jerks in the way. But I felt so alone and powerless. You feel so alone and powerless, which is exactly how they want you to feel. These bad guys want you to feel like you have no prayer. You have no choice. You can't do anything. They've got it locked down. They have for thousands, and there's nothing you can do. And that's a terrible feeling. Yeah, well, that all ended, that feeling of aloneness and there was nothing going on ended when I came across the voice of Thomas Williams on the Truth, Honor, Integrity show. It's a gentleman who he's a Brit, right? He lives in the States now. And he has just a soothing voice. I just, something about the resonance of it just caught me, and I had to listen and pay more attention, than I normally do to voices on, the internet or the TV or whatever, which I basically just had avoided completely. I didn't watch TV. I'd watched 15 hours of TV in 15 years. I just didn't even care anymore. It was just garbage to me. But when I heard Thomas talking about stuff, I was like, wait. And I listened to what the gentleman was saying, and I realized he was saying things that I needed to hear, that I was dying to hear. He was translating information that I could sense immediately had validity, was well researched. It resonated properly with me in the sense that I could tell this gentleman was earnest. Not some weird cult leader, not like that. Just a good person with a good heart who wanted to serve others and was just going all in, putting it all on the line to help. So it's important to note that he was getting it right. Okay, he wasn't just a good heart, paving a road to hell with good intentions. This gentleman I recognize had it correct. I mean, he wasn't out there Corey Goodman, Wilcocking, and just making stuff up about ETs. That's really hard to get correct unless you've been on the inside, right? And the information he was getting correct is very difficult to come by, and I would know that, right, considering my background. So the fact that he was getting it so correct on the secret space program stuff, for instance, which is kind of my specialty. Calling out names and locations and details. Just like I gotta be, I was stunned that he was accurate. I was stunned he was getting it right, which led to B, I was stunned he was even alive. I'm not kidding, and I don't mean to be macabre, but honestly, I was like, how does this guy not have a bullet in him? And Thomas will understand exactly what I mean. I was like, how can you just say this much truth and call out these many names and drop these many hammers, bro, and not be dead yet? Which leads to C, and Thomas would understand this as well. It made me suspicious. I was like, how do you get it right? Like, who's protecting you, and I didn't mean it in any, mean way or suspicious way, in any ill intent, other than I was stunned that there was someone out there who was telling the truth, and was alive, and it really kind of spun my head a little bit, and I spent a lot of time listening, and it took me a minute before I felt like, okay, this is it. I really need to approach the gentleman. But I will say real quick, like, that my suspicions were allayed in that he wasn't being protected by some bad guy. Like, you look at, like, some of these other characters that are going around giving, like, 80, 90% truth just to hoodwink you in the last 10%. Corrupt people that give out good information, but they're bad guys, okay? That wasn't the case. His protection came from a totally different source, okay? A good guy, and she is unstoppable, and not only is he protected by her to a large degree, he is in the position of giving himself to protect her as well. And yes, these two lovely, wonderful individuals who should have free reign to walk free and dancing in the plains and having barbecues with their friends, and have full sovereignty and authority to do so. It's true, they are shot at, and it's pathetic, it's disgusting. And it's like, people who tell the truth, right, are good guys, and people who shoot you for telling the truth are bad guys. It's just that obvious, and I'm not going to go too far aside there, but it just frustrated me, to see that these two amazing individuals and their team can't just come out and safely walk amongst the people whom they love so much and love them back and want to hug them. It just it pisses me off to no end. Excuse me. Yeah. So, but back to why I THI. When I realized Thomas and I agreed on a lot of things. I mean, not only could the gentleman have a doctorate in history and, economics and politics, he understood. He had a wonderful, wonderful mind, and had spent years developing ideas and ways to think differently and solve these problems. He was thinking differently and solving these problems. He was way ahead of me, way ahead of the curve, way ahead of everybody, really. And this THI and the People's Club and the Man World Holding Trust and that whole group of folks really had an immense amount of energy and love and fortitude and strength and purpose and determination that I respected and admired, and I wanted to get their backs. It's that simple. I wanted to learn, and I wanted to get their backs, because what they were doing was good, and they knew that there's more of us than there are of them. They knew that. They knew that if we could just, Kim and Thomas and those folks, and everybody I met at THI, they all knew, a lot of them more so than me, that we were making progress, that we were making a dent, that there was something happening, and there was a movement, an awakening, a growing, an evolution, and it was real, not hopium, not fake, not false promises of ET saving us, or all this weird stuff, or this defeatist attitude of just like, oh, we're all gonna die, or that there's gonna be some kind of stupid financial reevaluation, that we're gonna get some kind of crypto Basel III blockchained out. Like, no way. Like, just these fake ass, like so many fake plans people keep feeding down the pipe to keep people just not doing anything and delayed. Anyway, I realized that there was so much good happening and good information, good people forming a team, that there was no way I wasn't going to be part of that team and support that effort when I really saw the goodness that was happening and how much it had changed. And I was a little late to it. There's definitely people who joined THI. THI had been around for about 3 years before I got involved at all. But I'll tell you, the minute I did, I was so warmly received. It was incredible. I never, ever, ever in my life could talk to this stuff about anybody. I'll repeat that. 47, dude. Well, let's see, how old was it then? It's like 45, 46 years old, right? Keeping secrets your whole life. Like big secrets. Your whole life. Whew. Dude. I'm like holding back tears right now. Like I could just tell the truth. And people like listened. It was insanity. And I learned so much. Like everybody there had so much to teach me. It wasn't just Thomas, you know. He gathered around him a lot of really good people. And I gotta say, what happened was I eventually reached out personally, and it just blew my mind in a way that he took the time out of his incredibly busy schedule. Are you kidding me? To respond personally to me just really warmed my heart. And it didn't surprise me in that I'd listened to him long enough that I knew his nature was of kindness and patience. And if he saw like any kind of light, he wanted to be able to help amplify that. So I felt so honored that he gave me any time. And just, you know, it was just so warm. It felt like a family instantly is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is like the minute I put my hand out, it was grabbed by like 100 people who had huge hearts and huge minds and who were way ahead of the curve. They were ahead of me in this fight, and it was going well, and we were to be encouraged. And I had to add my voice to the song, to that choir that Tommy was already singing. So I don't want this to take forever, but I'll you know, I could talk for a long time about all the wonderful people that reached out to me and just welcomed me in, but that would just take another 10 minutes to just list in names and moments. But I just want everyone at THI to know I love them, and just want them to know that, you know, you guys and gals, you're just amazing people. Thomas, brother, you're just, you're one of a kind. There's just nothing like you, sir. Nothing. Much respect, you know. Thanks for putting up with me. I know I'm like that THI's own loud and wily pain in the asset from Oregon. But you know, your patience and your guidance has been just wonderful, and you treat everybody like equals, you know. You treat everybody like equals, and there's nothing like that. And same with Kim, who is just like unreal. One of a kind. Historically, people have no idea yet. 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now, everybody's going to know Kim Possible's name. They're going to forget Napoleon, right? And Genghis Khan. They will be dust of history, but Kim Possible will remain, even though that's not her goal. The goal now for all of us is to elevate our game as a species, to think differently, to start acting differently, to make real changes in ourselves, do our own inner work so we can do that outer work, and think and just leave the past there. We don't need to dig up history for the next 100 years and fight about it. We need to be solving problems together, looking forward as one. And the fact that I've been able to contribute at all has changed, not only changed my life, but just given me that sense of, you know, like, I just feel honored that I even had a moment with this group of people to contribute anything, you know. And I encourage anyone who feels moved by this kind of understanding to look into it. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it's for people like me. And I needed that. And I like to think that that in some way I was able to contribute and make someone in that family's day, because they deserve it. Everybody in THI deserves warm hugs and love and support. And I just want everybody to know that I got your backs in any way I can. And I might fail, make some more mistakes in front of you. You've all seen that, but no one ever rubbed my nose in it. Everyone just did what they do, Thomas included, and asked me just to reassess and make the adjustments necessary. And we're always doing that. So I thank you for your patience and your kindness. And I look forward to having more moments with you people and growing this new garden together. And I love singing with you. And you know me, one day we're going to dance together. It's going to be safe. We're going to hug and we're going to dance, and it's going to happen. Okay? That's what we do. We make it happen together. All right, so here's what it is. We're gonna call it a show and get to some of the music. Wow, I'm still spinning because I just got off our second Oregon Zoom call. And it was, wow, just inspiring. Just so inspiring. I mean, it was a different group of people this time. Not everyone's going to be able to make, you know, all of the calls, and that's understandable. But, wow, it was just people who are resonating and vibing and looking towards the same kind of goals. You know, it really doesn't feel like a coincidence, the people that are on these calls, if you know what I mean. We found that, you know, we all have big dreams, but we all want to take small steps together, right? Like, we found that, you know, we don't need funding to find humanitarian projects in our communities. Like, just right around the corner, people who just need a pair of helping hands on the weekend. Like, why can't THI just bring them 12 pairs of helping hands and then give us a chance to get together in 3D and give each other hugs and communicate and talk about more plans and just keep building on that. You know, take that first small step of just getting together to help somebody, you know, for free, right? Like, we can give our time. Okay. We don't need, you know, Kim to roll out funding for that. We can help now. Okay. And it's just that simple. And we're really glad we found each other. And I just want to say a personal thanks to Thomas. I think, you know, out of all of the things that gentleman has accomplished in his life, okay, I think he could probably be most proud of the fact that he's brought together thousands of people and created a family that didn't exist. And he doesn't want to be everyone's dad. He's like their big brother. You know, he considers himself an equal, and he's a leader, and he's one of the wisest among us all, and we respect that. And he really created something special, and I want to say thanks for that. And I think everyone in our group wants to say thanks for that. So from THI Oregon to Thomas to Kim, you know, thank you so much. We're doing the work, and we're gonna do more. There's a bunch of committed folks out here who have your back. That's just what's up with that. And we know you have ours. So, you know, that's how this works. And we're going to keep working. So we'll get to the music. This one is called Slam Anthem KF1. And it is one of the craziest things you've ever heard. I don't expect everyone to like all this music. But this is an oldie. And it starts out with some slam poetry, and then it goes into some just rockin' electric madness. You'll see. It's like nothing you heard before, I'm guessing. But yeah, there's some stuff in there. We'll just bang it out and make it like something you've never heard. And that's kind of one of the things I want to do with the show. Just give you something you can't get anywhere else, you know. I mean, I want to build little bridges. I want to have some fun, and I want to make people feel better, and I want to bring people together, you know. It's just that simple. That's what this is about. I think you can feel that. So, thank you again for tuning in. Yeah, let's get to that music. Zenja out! My time machine's toroidal math be skipping calculations back to boiling primordial baths of single cells trying to get some ass. So what if I'm chocolate or caramel or Nilla? Still cut it non-stop. Lyrics, beats, thrill you, kill ya. And so what if I'm in the back of my Pinto with Zachary Quinto? We all factually equal. So what if I miss Nina Hartley or Queen Janis Joplin? Suffering Jets' hearts be stopping, Jack Boy's jaws be dropping. So what if I'm straight or I'm intro or extra? Y'all just be wondering, see what's coming next though. Well, wake up, brothers and sisters. Hear now something new. Enter the sacred chamber of the mighty. Gunning much, running, look out, repeat, quit your bitching, one inch punch, KF eat your kitchen for lunch. Go with dragon tattoo, identic memory and view. Yeah, we leave you black and blue, all hell will come for you. Gunning much, running, look out, repeat, quit your bitching, one inch punch, KF eat your kitchen for lunch. I go with dragon tattoo, identic memory and view. We leave you black and blue, all hell will come for you. All hell will come for you. Who enters the fight, hoping to win. The wise have run before they enter. With weapons of light, we will cleanse your sin. Come with us or be dismembered. Your hell will come to you. 1, watch your breath. Rule 2, don't blink. Rule 3, don't hold back. Repeat. Rule 1, watch your breath. Rule 2, don't blink. Rule 3, don't hold back. Y'all hell. From peace we were torn, into hell we've been born. We can't remember all the lives and skins that we've worn. We know no fear, cause we're already dead. You better start running, cause our sights on your head. Gunning much, running, look out, repeat, quit your bitching, 1 inch punch, KF eat your kitchen for lunch. Go with dragon tattoo, identic memory and view. Yeah, we leave you black and blue, oh hell to come for you. The snakes and the blade, we like to have it our way. We like to come out to play when it's dark and you can't see us coming. We like to have it our way. We like to come out to play when it's dark and you can't see us coming. Running, look out, repeat, quit your bitching, 1 inch punch, KF eat your kitchen for lunch. Girl with dragon tattoo, identic memory and view. We leave you black and blue, all hell to come for you. Gunning much, running, look out, repeat, quit your bitching, 1 inch punch, KF eat your kitchen for lunch. Girl with dragon tattoo, identic memory and view. We leave you black and blue, all hell to come for you. 1, watch your breath. Rule 2, don't blink. Rule 3, don't hold back. Repeat. Rule 1, watch your breath. Rule 2, don't blink. Rule 3, don't hold back. Y'all hell. Sheep from the fold, we have you under control. Like a geopolitical Frankenstein monster. Y'all hell.